Hello, everybody. It is Matt, and it is Maniac Monday, and I am back at you with yet another review. Before I roll on to any of that, I want to wish each and every one of you a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk, all that lovely stuff, because life really is too short as is. Do me a really huge favor and like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing your beautiful faces when you are here. I know I'm here an awful lot, but I have an awful lot on my plate to review. And one last little tidbit of information. Check out the description box. I give you a bigger bite of every single movie of every single day. Such as today, I gave you your brief synopsis, your starring cast, your directors, your runtime of the cut I am watching, a link for a trailer, a link for where you can watch this bad boy. Yes, it is a pay to watch. It is a pay-per-view type thing on Amazon Prime, but it is only $1.99, and you get it for 48 hours, as many times you want to watch it in that time period as you feel. And then if you decide, you can help support Matt's Movie Mania and toss me a couple of bucks. Now that I got all that said, mind, and all that out of the way, let's roll on to the film of the day. And today's is a very fun little gem. I'm so happy I got to watch and review this one. It is none other than the 2020 smash hit known as Psycho Ape. Wow, what a fun little gem. It's like I said, 2020, runs at about an hour and 4 minutes. Stars none other than our good favorite friend of Matt's Movie Mania, known as Kansas Bowling, who is got a heck of a filmography under her belt already, and she started very young with BC Butcher, being like 16 or 17 when she directed that. For Trauma. And then she's done just a slew of horror movies and other movies along the different subgenres as well. We got Bill Weedin in there. He does a great job as always. Those two, just the chemistry from each other is just top notch. And then there was 3 different directors that came in and took part in this one. All 3 of them, I think they made a great team to make a fun little movie. What exactly is Psycho Ape about? Well, it's kind of a manic hodgepodge of movies, just kind of crammed in together, and have nothing but reference after reference after reference towards movies that had apes, monkeys, or any kind of primate whatsoever. It is very fun. It starts out with a 25 years later thing, where Kansas Bowling and her friends are playing teenagers, as they kept saying. We're just teenage girls. It was absolutely hilarious because obviously all of them were not teenagers when they made this movie. Even Kansas's boyfriend even is like, I'm her teenage boyfriend, and he clearly looks like he's in his upper 30s, maybe mid 30s, but he definitely is nowhere near that teenage marker. And it's absolutely hilarious. He comes in and he's wearing an ape outfit while Kansas is going off on all the different types of apes she likes, the ape movies she likes, and how good they are, and this and that. From everything from Planet of the Apes to Schlock to Ape to just name it. If it has to do with a primate, she definitely talked about it. It was really cool. But the boyfriend shows up in an ape costume to scare the girls. He succeeds. They kick him out afterwards. He goes outside and he's smoking a cigarette, talking about, oh, I'm just the teenage boyfriend and this and that. Eventually, our killer ape comes up behind him and kills him with a banana, which, by the way, bananas are used left and right as the weapons of choice, and it is absolutely hilarious. You got people getting bananas shoved into their mouths, in their head, in chopping their arms or their legs off, or just anything you can think of to kill, how to kill somebody with a banana. It does happen, and there's even a funny little disclaimer at the beginning that says many bananas were harmed in the making of this movie, which is absolutely true and hilarious. And the body count in this is just absolutely just stunning. It's got a high body count. I lost track after about a dozen of them, so there's a lot. And then there's also characters like Dr. Zoomis, which is played by Bill Weedin, whose character dies multiple times and keeps coming back, and without any kind of excuse or reason behind it. It adds a lot of extra oomph to the story. And then it goes 25 years later, and it still doesn't give you a good time frame. And if you watch, there's a news program that plays on throughout it, and if you watch along the bottom and read, granted, you only have to read it all once because it just keeps repeating it. But at one point they even talk about, we don't even know what time period this really is. It's just 25 years later. That's all we know. And while this is going on, Kansas is trying to live a new healthy life. She still wants to be the teenage Jane Goodall, even though she's no longer a teenager. And then you have Dr. Zoomis constantly on the prowl. It just really is a fun movie throughout, beginning to end. As far as plotline goes, that's about it. Is them trying to stay away from the ape, but then Kansas eventually falls in love with the ape and starts siding with the ape. They even do a King Kong reference that's absolutely great. A Mighty Joe Young references from both the original and the remake. There's even a hilarious scene where two girls are arguing. They're dressed as sharks, by the way, and they're trick-or-treating, and they are arguing which is better out of the Disney Pixar line. Is it Ratatouille or Toy Story? I personally think Toy Story is the better, but I absolutely adore Ratatouille. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me smile. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So it has a lot going on in this little movie. Now, under the three things that I love my movies to be, first is audio. The audio is all over the place in here, which it works for it. They wanted something extremely low budget B movie schlocky that you would see on a late night television, because it does have nudity in it. Not a lot, but it does. It's quite interesting on how it goes on that end of the spectrum for the audio. There's times when it's very crisp and clean, and then there's times where it's very poorly overdubbed. Was it meant to be that way? I'm guessing so, because if they did, that's pure genius for it, in my opinion. It fits the motif very well. So I'm going to give it a B on the audio. As far as dialogue goes, the dialogue is absolutely hilarious. There's things that are said in here that are just so silly and funny. Like I was catching myself not trying not to just laugh my ass off of the entire movie, because I really wanted to pay attention to it. But I'm going to give it an A on dialogue because it's just so funny. Now on to the bread and butter, which is the editing. I feel like this is edited together extremely well, considering the level of movie that this is supposed to be. This is not supposed to be your A-level blockbuster type movie, but it has very expertise editing, in my opinion. Even with the continuity errors that are purposely put there. So it's very, very, very well done. So I'm going to give it an A on the editing side. Now my final score of 1 through 5, I'm going to give this thing a 3.5 out of 5. It is above average. It could be better, could be worse. Honestly, I think it could have been about 10 minutes longer, and I think it would have probably bumped it up to that 4.0. I wanted more footage between Kansas and the ape. I thought they were great together, and also Kansas and Bill would be another extra stuff I would like some more of because their chemistry was so good together. Alright guys, I love your faces. I'll be back at you on Wednesday with yet another review. It'll be Wednesday, Friday, Sunday again this week. Maybe again the same thing next week. I got a lot of stuff on my plate to review. I hope all of you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Love your faces, and as always, peace.